Lonmin management at Marikana is expected to meet with representatives from the Bapo Mogale Unemployed youth group in an attempt for operations to resume at 2 shafts. The platinum producers stopped production at the shafts, saying protests were violent, damaging property and intimidating employees. The company said the protesters were demanding 1,000 jobs, a demand that the company said was unrealistic given the current economic climate. The youth group is reportedly also demanding that the company should prioritize locals in the employment drive. Meanwhile, it's been reported that the group has burnt a bus used to transport miners. Lonmin says previous meetings with the group have not borne any fruit. The company says the only contingency plan is that the other operations will have to increase production without compromising safety. Reports say output losses would amount to around 40 million rand over 7 days. For more on this story, I'm joined by Thandeka Ncube. She's Executive Vice President for Stakeholder Engagement and Regulatory Affairs at Lonmin. Thanks so much for joining us on SABC News. Lonmin has said the community's demands for 1,000 jobs is unrealistic. Why is this?
Well, thanks, Nzinga. Last year, as a business, since 2012, Lonmin has been struggling. So last year, we took out 6,000 from our labor force. And we have some agreement with our labor that should we resume or prices become better, we would bring in the people that were retrenched. Now, that does not mean we do have contractors that are operating at our mines, and they do recruit. And their first preference is to recruit from the local community. But we cannot just agree to 1,000 jobs without also discussing with our stakeholders, and it's not commercially viable. We cannot. A year ago we took out 6,000, and now they're requesting that we hire 1,000.
When you say took out 6,000, do you mean you hired 6,000 people or you let 6,000
people? No, we
people
retrenched 6,000.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're reading that it's going to cost Lonmin 40 million rand, these strikes around 40 million rand over the next week. Is this figure correct?
It has cost Lonmin. We've lost 40 million rands for the 6 days that the shafts have been closed. What the protesters do is every morning, when the morning shift has to go in, they go and block a national road so our buses cannot run. Well, it's actually their buses because Bapo Mogale, it must be noted that they are shareholders within Lonmin. So as part of as part of the transaction that was concluded in 2014, they had opportunity. There were procurement opportunities made available to them, and one of them was the busing of the employees and just regularly around the communities. So now they make sure that our employees can't get to the shaft, and even the buses can't run in the communities. And with us seeing a result of them burning a bus, which is their asset, worth about 2.4 million. Sorry. Sorry.
Relations between Lonmin, particularly that mine in Marikana, and community members has not been good since the killings of mine workers and guards there. Lonmin has tried to say we're going to give employees decent housing, and you've been trying to make amends with the community. An engagement like this kind of lets go of the goodwill that has been built. How do you plan to fix that?
Well, as Lonmin, these communities are hosting us in their communities. That's how we refer to it. And we have to continuously engage with them. So it does put a speed bump, I should say, in the discussions, but we as management and as Lonmin, and directly from our board, we have to continuously try and engage with them. Unfortunately, today we had them again around the table, where yesterday they agreed that they would talk to the protesters, and we would continue with putting a plan together on how we can accommodate them. And when this morning we were supposed to sign an agreement that was going to govern how we go through this difficult phase, they refused. They said they want us to put and commit to a number of people that we will employ. And we cannot do that.
Have you brought in other people, such as other businesses and government, into your discussions to try and find a solution to the things that you're experiencing currently?
Well, we have, I mean, we've notified our regulator, which is the Department of Mineral Resources. We've notified the Premier's office because he was interested in the Northwest. And in the past, we have brought in, I mean, when we can't find common ground, we have brought in independent people who could just try for us to get the conversation going again. We're not ruling that out at this stage, but it must be noted that this is the Bapo Mogale community that's causing all of this. We have other communities, we refer to them, are they on the eastern side of the properties, and then we've got western side communities which are not party to this, and they've told us as such.
Thank you very much. Thaneka Ngube from Lonmin joining me in studio there. Now, South African businesses